Those guys were a couple of wussies, huh?
They scalped my hairs, okay? I look hideous.
Come on, baby.
And you gave them permission to hurt me like this.
But I couldn't have anybody see my face, Steven. Come on. Tonight, I felt something deep inside me I never felt before. Do you remember that one time when everyone was shouting my name and I used my strength to rip my blouse?
Yeah, and I saw them knock you unconscious, alright? Welcome to Misfit Apparitions, the podcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm Don.
And I'm Ernest.
And we are your hosts once again for a journey to an historic location known in paranormal circles as being haunted. We can be reached at misfitapparitions.com, and please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube channel with the handle at Misfit Apparitions. The podcast can be found on all major podcast outlets. If you enjoy the podcast, please consider giving us a review, a like, or a thumbs up, and let others know about us. It's all about the analytics, which helps the podcast get noticed. We would really appreciate that. As always, if you have any comments, concerns, or questions, please drop us an email at mawpod@misfitapparitions.com or ask us directly on social media. We would really like to hear from you. So, here we are in 2023.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody. So, we had a couple weeks off from our jobs. What did you get to do besides go to Goliad when we went?
Oh, yeah. We went to Goliad. That was great. And, I think like the first week after we came back, I just needed a rest. Just rest, right before Christmas. But it was great, Christmas Day, I got to spend time with my family, and that was great. But, I didn't really do much, but, just spending time with family, that's the best thing for me. So, what about you?
Same thing. I had family here, and my daughter was here, and her boyfriend, and like you, just needed to rest. It was a trying year, I think, school year for us.
That's right. Yeah. I just needed to recharge the battery. That's what I did.
So what did you do New Year's Eve? Did you do anything? Did you go out?
Oh, yeah, I did. I went to my daughter's friend's house, and they had a huge folding table of just fireworks. I've never seen anything like that. I've never been a firework person, like to go and spend that money to pop fireworks. The sparkles maybe.
Yeah.
I said, but it was pretty awesome. When you hear them go off, you hear that in a distance, but when you're right next to them, I'm talking about the big fireworks. It's loud. Eardrums are like ringing.
Probably scares you more than it
does.
But
it was fun. It was fun, and to ring in the new year with my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always, the best for me.
I think on New Year's Eve, my daughter got home with her boyfriend here with about 5 minutes to spare. It was pretty crazy, and a tradition usually involves tossing water over your shoulder to say goodbye to the old year. And
awesome.
And I forget what we did to ring in the new year, but I just really wasn't in the mood to celebrate as working on Misfit things. And you get into a groove, and it's like, okay, I'm in a zone,
Right.
and I didn't want to break away from that. I know it was New Year's Eve. I really hated 2022. So what I did is like, okay, I participated for about a minute. I just went out, threw the water, threw the middle finger up, and said, "F you, 2022." That had to be beeped out. You pretty much know what I said there. But yeah, I just went back to work.
Right.
No.
Oh, but I want to say before we get into this new podcast is Happy New Year to you, Don.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Happy New Year to you.
Hopefully that Misfit Apparitions is going to have a good 2023.
I believe they will.
We ended strong with Iowa and Goliad, so
yeah,
let's keep it going.
And don't forget Malvern.
Malvern. Sorry.
Yeah, I know it's not one we talk about a lot, but we will. It's coming. So one more thing I want to talk to you about is your team, America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. They made it to the playoffs.
Yes, they did. Hey,
congratulations.
Thank you. The last game wasn't pretty. It was really ugly, but, I wasn't too happy when they seeded us to play on Monday night.
But, yeah, it kind of stinks. We're off Monday.
Yeah, we're off Monday, but Monday night we got to go back to work Tuesday. So, I was hoping for a weekend game, but, it's okay. I just hope for the best.
All right, so let's get into this. This is gonna be interesting. All right, so on this episode, we visit Saratoga, Texas, specifically Bragg Road, or commonly referred to as Ghost Road, because of the phenomenon known as the Saratoga Lights. Before we talk about Ghost Road, we need to go back in time, before there even was a road. Located in southeast Texas, this area is known as the Big Thicket and is the most dense forest region of the state. In turn, the Big Thicket is part of the larger U.S. ecological region, the Piney Woods. The topography within the Big Thicket, specifically its southern track, where the supposed Saratoga Lights are seen, is defined as the Big Thicket Basin and generally characterized as a shallow bowl. This area is known for being flat and conducive to wetlands thanks to poor drainage. As quickly as the Texas oil boom began in early January 1901 with the Spindletop Gusher in southern Beaumont, Texas, so did the need for the transportation of supplies by rail. Seeing a need to extend a railroad line to the new oil town of Saratoga, Santa Fe Railroad laid 8 miles of track, stretching north from Bragg Station, south to Saratoga. The branch line transformed Saratoga into an oil and lumber industry, the latter of which continues contributing to its local economy. At Bragg, a hotel and post office were built to accommodate the growing population of oil men to the area. In 1934, the mode for transporting supplies changed, and the branch line between Bragg and Saratoga was abandoned and dismantled. The town of Bragg eventually became a ghost town. Despite a couple of decades of population decline in the mid-20th century, Saratoga has maintained a populace of 1,000 residents or more since 1925. The deserted land used for the branch line became a frequently used, narrow, 2-lane dirt road called Bragg Road. Today it is known as Ghost Road Scenic Drive, which is a beautiful, slow, daylight drive under the canopy of tall, pinewood trees. But at night, the only light shining under that canopy is either coming from your automobile's headlights or streaks of moonlight breaking through the tree branches.
But what about these other lights reported to be seen throughout the years? The lights are generally described as pumpkin-sized orbs or lights in colors of white, yellow, light blue, or red. The light or lights can never be approached close enough to get a better look and eventually shoot up into the sky or drift away. There are several legends and a few theories as to what is causing them. The most talked about legend is that of a train conductor wanting to stay on schedule, speeding through the branch line only to derail the train and himself become decapitated. The light is said to be coming from the headless conductor's lantern as he walks back and forth along Bragg Road searching for his head. Coincidentally, this legend is also spoken about to explain ghost lights in Michigan and North Carolina. Another legend is that a newlywed couple spending their honeymoon at a nearby hotel. The bride leaves for a walk and never returns. The light is said to be coming from the groom who spends the rest of his life walking up and down Bragg Road searching for his wife. Still another legend is the story of the Mexican cemetery where a hired crew of Mexicans working on the railroad track during its construction were killed by the foreman instead of being paid and quickly buried within the dense woods. The light is said to be their souls clouded by the light as they haunt the area that cost them their lives. And finally, this legend is tall tale about a lost hunter carrying a spectral fire pan, thus causing the light. The hunter is frantically searching for a way out of the thicket. Some of the theories as to what these lights are range from automobiles, although some claim that the lights existed before automobiles, with brighter headlights, were on the roads. Another theory is the lights are the results of will-o'-the-wisp, a documented natural occurrence caused by the disintegration of phosphorus and methane, which we met with oxygen, combust into a heatless blue flame. Before we enter into our discussion about the team's trip to Bragg Road, we want to mention why we went there. A friend of the team suggested we investigate it after she witnessed the lights while driving her vehicle on Bragg Road during the night. We arrived about an hour before sunset, so it also served as an opportunity for a team photo shoot. When you talk about an 8-mile road, a lot of people might think, oh, that's easy. But when we were there, it's a long stretch.
It's long, it's flat, and straight.
Yeah.
We got there well before sunset, and we had a great opportunity to take pictures around that time of day, which is just beautiful. And canopies, we're underneath the canopy of trees, and I think we had some really good shots. But we drove about 4 miles in, the halfway point.
Right, yeah. We drove in halfway point, and that's when we got out of the vehicles and we started to set up a little area where we came up with a plan. And the plan was to have 2 drivers on either end of the street, paved road, and for us to film that. And I think that was a good idea that we did that.
Yeah, we parked on the side of the road because it's a tight 2-lane road. It's tighter than going through a neighborhood. If you've been to like my neighborhood, it's kind of tight. 2 cars can barely go, but yeah, it was tight and it's dirt. It took a long time to get there, to get 4 miles in. You think that's nothing, but you're driving through a dirt road, so you're probably driving 10, 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was about to say we were about 8, 10, 12 miles an hour. It kind of reminded me when we were going through Martha's Cemetery where all that dirt, and, dust in the air.
And it was kind of going through my mind, even though you were driving. You were driving, and I don't know who was behind you. It was Crystal and Mike.
Sergio.
Sergio,
and then Mike was behind him. He's always a third one.
Poor Mike. I didn't even ask him if he had collected dust again on this time, but I think we drove okay. And so we had 3 vehicles in. We parked on the side. Of course, there was still cars coming and going. Not so much, maybe once every half hour, every hour.
I was surprised that it wasn't that that busy, that much traffic going through there for the curious-minded people. Yeah.
But, and it was not a hot day. It was early September, but it was just humid.
It was very humid.
This time, in September, it's still very warm in this part of the country. And
yeah, I do appreciate that Crystal had
Oh my goodness, that's right.
Mosquito
Can we
spray
talk
off.
about
Oh my
the
god.
spray that I bought? Okay, so I brought, I found some mosquito spray. I don't know who mentioned it. I think you probably mentioned about
Yeah,
bringing
as I
mosquito
said,
spray.
we probably gonna need something out
So
there.
okay, yeah, and I don't know how long it had been since it rained, but I didn't know what this place was like, and thank goodness that we did because there's wetlands around there,
Right.
and so I find some, I don't know, cutter or something in my garage, so I bring it over there, and I think Mike tried to use it, and there was nothing. I mean, didn't feel like it was empty, but it had not been used in years,
Right.
so it was hilarious.
It was hilarious because we were using it, we were trying to use it, nothing was happening. At the same time, we're getting bitten like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like you hear it around your ears, and you're getting bitten on the neck and the face, and it was crazy.
And Crystal, her motherly instinct,
yeah,
she carries this stuff. I mean, women that have kids.
Thank you, Crystal.
Yes, thank you. They know exactly what they need and what people need in the time of need.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, if it wasn't, if she didn't have it, I think I would have been done.
I completely forgot about that mosquito thing.
Dude, it was crazy. I've never been around mosquitoes like that. Maybe one or two, when you're outside, but it was like 10, 15 just around me.
And I know we're getting sidetracked here, but one more thing that Mike had taught us this trick.
Oh yeah,
with the flashlight. So he was telling us that if you put the flashlight right beside your eye, left or right eye, right there, and you just look in the grass, or in this case the marshland or whatever, you will see spider eyes. And oh my goodness, there was hundreds of them.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I wouldn't even sit down. No. You have spiders going everywhere on your body. It was crazy.
That was really interesting. I really enjoyed learning something I never knew, and so now I will always do that.
Leave it up to Mike to know those kind of things.
Oh yeah. Mike always has something. He always brings something out that you would never. It's one of those things that make you go, type of things.
It's like, did you research this? Did you look this up? I mean, he was just like, oh, you got to do this and do this and do that, and you can see all that. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was wild. So it's getting dark.
Right.
So at this time, Sergio takes off south, the way that we came in. Mike takes off north to an area that we didn't go through. So it takes them a while to get there, 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
So they radio in, well, by cell phone, let us know that they are there. So we decided to wait until they were ready. And in the meantime, cars are still coming through. So
yeah,
we watch them as far as we can, and you lose sight of them.
What's crazy is that when they left, it wasn't pitch dark.
No,
it was, you could still see, but by the time they got to other ends of the street, it was already dark.
Yeah,
that's why it took a while for them to get to that that point.
And so it was dark, and I don't know if there was a moon, but I just remember it was just pitch black out there.
Yeah,
there was no light, nothing out there, and that was pretty interesting, because you had mentioned before it got dark, you and Crystal had seen something maybe 20 or 30 yards behind us.
Right. Yeah. I was filming or doing something on my phone, turning around, and I just turned at the right time, the same direction that Crystal was facing, and I saw it, but it was at the same time she turned to me. She goes, "Did you see that?" I was like, "Oh yeah." It was just this dark shadow that just raced across the pavement there, the street. It was just so fast, but it was a black shadow that I don't know what it was. I mean, you can't say, or I can't say that it was an animal, because I didn't hear any brush move, or I didn't hear the gravel, because it's all gravel. I didn't hear the gravel move. I didn't hear any brush move. So, but unfortunately, I didn't capture it on the camera.
Yeah.
But it was just from our vision that we saw, and we both looked at each other like, "Did you see that?" I was like, "Yeah, I saw that."
when I kept thinking about that when I was researching this, taking notes and things for this podcast about this road and this whole entire area, the big thicket. There's certain parts of the area of the big thicket that are different, like have ecological zones within the big thicket.
Okay.
So I don't recall, but there are areas of the big thicket there alligators are.
Oh wow.
So, and I remember seeing, some areas of water.
Yes.
It's marshland basically. So when I was reading this, I started thinking, wow, what was an alligator across the road or something like that? And to me, after reading that and remembering how dark it was and we were out there,
Yeah.
dang, that would have been crazy if there was an alligator out there.
Yeah, but you know what? I had keys, so I would have been the first one in my Jeep.
I would have gotten on top. I don't think alligators can climb on vehicles. I might be wrong, but
so we did the experiment of both cars going in opposite directions, and then we told them, you told Mike, because you were on the phone with Mike, and Crystal was on the phone with Sergio, to start driving towards us,
mm-hmm.
so we could see, just trying to see if we could see the light and stuff. And
right.
We saw just like one big white light orb.
But it took a while.
Right.
I mean, we're 4 miles in, so I don't know if it's even possible to see a headlight from 4 miles away, but as they were getting closer, it did appear as a single light.
Yeah, that's right.
On both of them.
Yeah.
It wasn't until they were probably less than a mile in that the distance started separating between the lights, and
right.
So it looked normal, like a car.
Yeah, as they approached closer, so it was a good experiment, and there was something that Sergio had mentioned when he went back.
Right. He was on the south side, the side that we came in, and he had talked about the way the main road veers off from the road that we were on. Right. It's a little bit of an incline.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that would support the theory that the lights that people see if they're traveling north on Bragg Road, and maybe not that far, just started, and they see lights behind them, which in our case our friend had told us about.
Right.
The light will, because that road veers off to the left, what you will see in your rear view mirror, if you're seeing this light behind you, it will veer off to the left, disappear.
And it seems higher.
Right, because that paved road is higher.
Right.
So, don't know if that is what people are seeing. That's what we experienced. I'm not saying that we debunked it, because I read things while researching that claimed that one person's was so close to it, it just passed their car a light. So
yeah,
in our journey, in our time, we noticed that, okay, it's not that the light plays tricks on you, it's just a distance thing. Exactly. So and because maybe you're on that road, and because it's so straight and so flat, it maybe makes you it does something with your faculties or something like that. You don't know you're on that road for that long. You see this light behind you. It's a single light, which meaning that the vehicle is way far behind you, and then then it veers off to one side. And you think, I saw light. It's gone. I saw it just disappear.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But the other thing is we tried to locate a cemetery that Sergio had looked up. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't remember, but I don't know if he had said that the cemetery that was nearby that we didn't find were individuals that died around that area.
Oh, right. I think he was talking about that area, yeah. Like a cemetery for the people that worked on it,
right,
in the area. Yeah, we never found that.
Yeah, we went by there and it was just houses. So maybe at some point, maybe they moved it. I don't know.
Maybe we did see one gravestone in front of a trailer.
That's right. I forgot about that.
We got kind of wrapped in a makeshift trailer park kind of housing thing with community of about 8 or 9 houses. And
you know what was crazy? I don't mean to cut you off. What was crazy when we were looking for the cemetery? That area was like there was like a beginning of a dense fog. But when we were on Bragg, that area investigating, the fog wasn't there. And just when we got off there and went on the pavement road to go look for the cemeteries, when I was like, I'm gonna get lost back here because I don't know where we were going.
Would you ever want to go back?
Yes, I think to go back. I want to go back when it's late.
I agree.
Later than when we were there.
Late, like early morning,
like
1 or 2 in the morning.
Witching hour, kind of.
Yeah, just like that. And I would not plan on doing the same experiment.
Right.
But maybe going out there, getting out of the car, of course with lots of mosquito spray, but not hanging out for very long, just to see what's out there and listen to what's out there.
Right. I mean, yeah, we could
and definitely sit on top of the car.
Or we can actually just walk it. It's a long 8 miles, but
That's a long walk.
Well, like we did, we can go the halfway mark.
Can we jog?
Yeah, right. Meet in the middle again, and then.
Oh, are you kidding me?
And then have the group break up and just walk the other 4 on either direction. See if you capture anything.
How fast do you think a human can walk? You think 4 miles an hour is reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay, so how would we do that? We'd have to leave a car parked there because I wouldn't want to walk out. Leave a car parked there and we just okay, I'm dropping you off at the north end and we're going to go to the south end park, and then radio in's ready, walk.
Right.
We'll see you in an hour in the middle. That might be kind of cool.
I mean, yeah. If you're there close to the witching hour and you're walking through, see, of course, we might be a little frightened if we see snakes or alligator, but,
I'm bringing a knife and I'm bringing a bat.
Crocodile Dundee, bro.
Shoot. I would not like to see that happen. Mm-mm. Can you outrun an alligator? Or a crocodile?
I can high step.
You just have to run faster than the person you're next to, right?
Right. If I leave you behind, Don, I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. You spent your summer like running every day. It's amazing, even in the heat. Oh my gosh. Well, I think that wraps it up for that, unless there's anything else we want to add to this. It was an interesting trip.
It was a good trip. I mean, we went there and we took pictures. We did a group picture there. I thought that was pretty cool, with the sign behind us, the ghost. What did it say? The ghost street,
Ghost
scenic route, or something like that.
It's called the Ghost Road Scenic Drive.
So that was cool that we got to take a group picture in front of that sign.
That was our first picture of everybody that knew and everything. That was good. Yeah. And
so it was a good beginning to, for us to expand our team. With Crystal and Sergio.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good idea that we had to do that.
Totally. All right. I don't want to talk about what's up next because we are still going through Velisca video and these cameras that we call our angels. They're surveillance cameras because they watch over us. They record audio as well, so over 100 hours of video, and Ernest has been at it since we got back, and it's time consuming because if it was just visual, that's one thing, but because it's audio and visual,
right,
you got to really pay attention, and you don't know how long it takes to just sit there and watch and record things. And when you have other things going on, when you have a kid, when you have work, when you have commitments to other things that you got to do, it's not like this is our full-time gig. And we do apologize for not having something out by now, but we think that you will enjoy what we have found so far.
Right. Yeah, I mean, going over the angels is like I could spend an hour watching and time stamping and documenting, but with that 1 hour can really be almost 3 hours of my time, because I gotta, stop, go back, see what if I heard something or saw something, and it's just repetitive.
And it's harder for you because you're reviewing the cameras that were in the attic, right?
Yes.
And there was 2 cameras in the attic, so it's actually double for you, because when you find something, you want to make sure you time code, you timestamp, and you go to the other camera and go to that and and just see that camera capture that as well.
Right.
And most of the time it has, right?
Right. It's on target.
So it's just hard work. Yeah.
It's time consuming, but I like it. Capturing stuff, and that's what keeps me going.
Well, can we just reveal one thing that's been kind of consistent since we've been to places? How these places not only know your first name, but know your last name. And how they know your last name when nobody around us says your last name is beyond me.
Yeah, there's...
you get a sneak peek.
Yeah, there's a little sneak peek, just doing a spirit box session in the upstairs, and heard my full name, and that was mind-blowing, because we don't, as our team investigates, we don't go walking around saying our whole first, middle name, and last name, but this actually, I caught my first and last name, so I was kind of blown away. It didn't startle me, but it there's an intelligent response.
Well, I, for one, I'm glad you're on the team, because you attract these things, and that's cool. I'm looking forward to reviewing it as well, and looking over these other cameras. I'm looking at the camera on downstairs. So yeah, it's just, you don't know, you might pick up a shadow. It's just total viewing. It's like you really want to do it right. You got to pay attention.
Yeah, you're looking at the screen, looking at anything that moves. You're also at the same time listening.
Right, and then you time code that, and you kind of try to remember who was in the house at the time.
Right.
And looking at the other cameras helps, because that, so it is like, okay, you want to make sure what you're finding is legit, not like another person.
That's where we're gonna come. It's gonna create more time, because if you hear something, like in instance when I'm listening in the attic, if I hear something downstairs, and knowing if nobody's there, I might go look at that video real quick at the same time. So that's why I said 1 hour can be 3 hours of watching and just documenting. But yeah, it's fun. I like it, and like Don said, we are working our hardest to get this investigation out to you, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, we've got other things stirring in the pot as well that we don't want to talk about right now, but we hope that they'll be exciting, coming soon. I don't want to say anything else, but yeah, we'll leave it at that. So with that, I guess we will bid our listeners a good evening, and see you next time, huh?
Yeah. Y'all take care.